How you meeting a man at the bus stop telling him you must have a car? You got some nerve. Is your friend supposed to go around and like make a public service announcement that you put them on the bag? Hey babes, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Rain, and if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I don't even know what I'm going to title this video. I don't even know where this video is going to go. But basically, I asked you guys on Instagram, and if you don't follow me on Instagram, make sure that you do so you can participate in videos like this. But I basically asked some like questions, scenarios, I don't know what you would call them, but I just basically asked you guys some questions. And then I did a poll, like, yes, do you agree? No, I don't agree. And some of them I kind of asked you guys to give me feedback on your answer. So yeah, you guys responded to them. You guys let me know your thoughts, what you think, X, Y, and Z. So basically in this video, we're just gonna kind of chop it up. We're gonna go through some of y'all's responses, what y'all think, what I think. And yeah, if you're interested in seeing what we're gonna talk about today, just keep on watching and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Okay, so let me give you guys a background story on why I decided to do this video in the first place. So I saw this video concept on Asia Nari's channel. I will link it like somewhere at the top, like the video that I watched. But basically she asked over on her Instagram for you guys' feedback, because low-key when you're doing like these girl talk videos with like scenarios, it's kind of difficult because in a way you're talking to yourself. So it's cool to kind of get you guys' feedback. Some of you guys wrote things that like I didn't personally think of. Some people like hit it right on the head, like we were right on the same page. So yeah, let's just go into my Instagram. I'm gonna do it. I only asked 5, I think. I asked 4 or 5 questions. I didn't do too many because all of the questions I asked, I low-key have a lot to say about. So I didn't want this video to be, you know, I didn't want it to be forever. So the first one I asked was, do you like asking for feedback / advice from family and friends when it comes to your career, creative ideas, and goals? So the poll was most definitely I can do without, and I asked you guys to like explain. So 60% of you guys said most definitely, and then 40% of you said I could do without. And I was kind of surprised by this because I thought more of you guys, like I thought it would have been like majority most definitely, because I feel like majority of people like hearing advice. Like advice is typically a good thing. And a lot of you guys that said no, you guys gave reasoning for why you said no. So some of you guys said never, family always putting in their 2 cents. A lot of you guys said that y'all do not like hearing your feedback from family, which I totally agree, especially because we're moving into a time where people are doing like non-traditional, wanting to follow like non-traditional career paths. Like people don't want to go to college. People see themselves doing things that kind of like our parents and our family members don't see as like conventional kind of. Some said it's important to ask people that have your best intention. Not everybody's opinion matters, which I agree with. I personally say that you should ask for people's opinions who are kind of in the same boat as you. So for example, me, I started doing YouTube, and YouTube is really what gave me like this kind of like this input, like this thought process. Because at the beginning of my channel, I was always asking people like, what do you want to see on my channel? And like family and friends, obviously, like not people that just watch, but just family and friends who may not even watch my channel. So I would ask like, what do you think of this thumbnail? What do you think of this video concept? I just was constantly asking for people's opinions. But it's difficult being in a creative space where, you know, kind of like, I feel like as a creator, especially when you have a creative vision, whether that be with YouTube, whether you are a fashion designer, you're a musician, you kind of, in your head, and that's why your talent is normally very special, because you in your head, you can kind of like, you know exactly what's best for you in a sense. And not only that, but also I'm the type of person that I overthink things to the max. So for me to even get to a point where I've edited a video, created a thumbnail, about to post this video, right? Your criticism, I've already criticized myself down to the T. Like I have criticized myself so much to get up to this point. Like probably something that someone's telling me, you're not telling me something I haven't told myself already. So for me to have gotten to this point and then you tell me, oh, well, I think you could have done it this way, or I would prefer to see it this way, you're gonna probably take me 10 steps backward into my creative process, if that makes sense. And then I'll be like, I don't even want to do the video, screw it, F it, I ain't doing it no more. So personally, that's why I stand on like I could do without. Someone said, only from those that believe and take my craft seriously. I agree. It's my life, so I want to make decisions myself. I agree. Sometimes they take the opportunity to be negative instead of helpful. I also agree with that. Or there was this tweet that, I don't know if it was actually a Kanye tweet, but it was going around on Instagram, and it said that people's opinion, oh, let me find it. I have to find it so that I can read it to y'all. Okay, so I'm gonna put the tweet up on the screen, but I'm also gonna read it out loud. I'm only gonna read half of it because the rest of it doesn't really pertain to what I'm saying. But it says, you have the best ideas. Other people's opinions are usually more distractive than informative. Follow your own vision. I completely agree. I think that a lot of the times I've received advice from people, it's been very distractive than helpful in a lot of situations. Don't get me wrong, it's not that criticism isn't bad. Like, I'm not gonna shun you out for telling me that you think that my thumbnail could be done this way. Like, normally I would take the advice 9 times out of 10, but I just think that sometimes feedback and advice can be overwhelming. You know what I mean? Okay, next one is, do you find it important for your significant other to post you on social media? Now, 21% of you said it's a must, and then 79% of you said it doesn't matter. Now, let me give you guys a backstory of why I even asked this question. Me and my girlfriends were having a conversation this one time, and half of us were saying like, yeah, you should post your significant other, it shouldn't be a secret. And the other half of us were saying like, it doesn't really matter. Like, as long as I know and like the people closest to me know, it doesn't really matter. So it just made me think of the topic because, yeah, and I think a lot of y'all are lying. A lot more people would rather not admit that they want their significant other to post them, just because I feel like it's like a touchy subject. Like, it sounds so petty. Like, I don't like the fact that you don't post me on your Instagram. I don't like the fact that you don't post pictures when we're out together. And I just have my own personal views on that. Like, I feel like whatever you post, whatever you put on social media, you're kind of leaving it up to your followers to kind of perceive it how they want to perceive it. And personally for me, I don't want my relationship to be up to your imagination, right? People talk shit. And I think people, especially girls, we talk shit very like, something could come up, right? You'll be sitting down talking to your girl, she'll be scrolling on Instagram, she'll be like, did you know that such and such and such and such were together? And boom, now you have a conversation about how Joe and Samantha are together, but we saw Joe at the club last weekend talking to some girl and exchanging numbers with some girls, and boom, me and my friend have already, me and my friend in that little sitting have came up with a rumor basically about this girl and her man, right? Very unintentionally. It probably won't leave the couch, but we just came up with that. And I feel like that's very common when you're posting your significant other on social media. So yeah, I feel like if you do have a problem with it, be upfront about it. I always say nothing's wrong in a relationship. There's no such thing as insecurity within a relationship. Certain things to me just aren't a problem. Maybe something happened to you in your last relationship where your boyfriend never posted you on Instagram and he was cheating on you with some Instagram girl that he was talking to in the DMs, and the girl had no idea he had a girlfriend. You know what I mean? Like, that's traumatic. Like, at that point, I need everybody to know on your social media accounts that we're together, that we're a thing, that we go together, right? But I personally don't think it's that important. I agree with a lot of you guys. It's not a must, but I do think that people take it to a point where like, oh, I want me and my relationship to be private. There's a difference between having a private relationship and a secret relationship. The next one, which is a really juicy one, one that had really, really mixed reviews. And I actually am surprised by the feedback on it, but it says, does it offend you when a friend or acquaintance copies what you do? Clothes, shoes, mannerisms, etc. So 72% of you said not that big a deal. The other 28% of you said hate it. And then for this one, I asked, like I did like a little like explain yourself, how does it make you feel? And I was, let me read you guys the feedback on it. So one person says, I don't care as long as I get credit for putting them on. I don't like that personally. I hate when people like take advantage of being able to say like, you put me on. Like, I feel like it's very, like, yeah, I know you put me on it. Obviously, I don't need to, you put me on this shirt. Like, you told me to get this shirt at Zara. Every time I put it on, I don't need to say X put me on. You know what I mean? Like, it's uncalled for, right? Every time I sing a song, I don't need to say you put me on. Like, that's just excessive, right? It's just, it's giving gatekeeping. I don't need to be gatekept about certain things. Like, I don't need to be gatekept about the music I listen to, right? Just my opinion. And someone said, being around someone a lot will naturally make you mimic what they do. But there's a thin line. I agree. There's a thin line between innocently mimicking your friend and outwardly morphing into them. I completely agree. I've never had like a friend completely like morph into me, but the reason I asked this question is because I was here with one of my really close friends, and she was basically telling me that she had another friend that every time she sat in front of the friend, she felt like she was talking to herself. It's like her friend immediately changed her characteristics and her mannerisms and like the way she talked to like impress the other friend, and it's just weird. And it made me really ask. Like I said, I've never personally experienced something like that, but that to me would be so weird, because she was like, I didn't come here to talk to myself. If I wanted to talk to myself, I would have done that at home. She said that like it was just awkward, right? It was just an uncomfortable situation. But that to me was a really, really good way to put it. Like obviously, like for example, me and my best friend have been at events, or like I'll go pick her up or she'll come pick me up, and we'll be in the same exact outfit, like same exact outfit. We didn't talk about it with each other. It just came out like that. Like, we just walked out the house like that. And to me, I just think that is, you're around someone for so long, you talk about your likes, I talk about my likes, we're one of the same almost, right? So that I don't have a problem with. Someone said, I'm flattered, but there's only one me, baby, period. And that's low-key how I feel. I always say, I don't mind putting people on things, because at the end of the day, if I tell you about this shirt, right, you're not gonna wear the shirt like me, right? You're not gonna wear the jeans like me, and not even in a bad way. Like, not like you're gonna wear ugly or anything like that, but we just not the same. Like, the way that you'll style it and the way that I'll style it is completely different. And to me, once we get to the point where you're styling it the same way as me, then we have a problem, because I don't want to be going out looking like Tweedledum and Tweedledum. Someone said wouldn't care. Someone said with friends, no. Acquaintances, yes, it irks me. Now, I don't get why with friends it would irk you. Why with acquaintances it would irk you, but friends not? Because to me, I don't want to go outside and we're wearing the same shoes. Like, I don't want to go outside and me and my friend are wearing shoes. But I see why acquaintance is weird, because it's kind of like you're admiring me from a distance, which is kind of weird to me. Like, you're copying me from a distance, which is low-key weird. Someone said, just shows that I'm really that girl. Plus if anything, it has more to say about them than myself. True. Not a big deal, but I'm gonna be like looking emoji. I'm gonna be like looking emoji too. Someone said, but to a certain extent though, looking emoji. I think it is to a certain extent, because if I'm going out and everything that I buy at the mall, you buying at the mall, no way, no way. Sometimes I wish I was given credit, but also makes me feel admired, which never hurts. I just want to know what y'all mean by giving credit, because like I said, oh shit, my stream was showing this whole time. But I try to know what y'all mean by giving credit. Like, I don't get it. Like, do you expect someone to wear a bag, for example, and then say, oh yeah, Rain put me on this bag? Like, is your friend supposed to go around and like make a public service announcement that you put them on the bag? I don't get it. Like, I don't understand that. Now, what I don't like about giving credit, what I do not like is, let's say you wanted a bag, right? Let's say you wanted a bag. Let's say it's a Telfair bag, or I don't even know, a bag, right? A bag that maybe hasn't been talked about too much, but you've expressed to your friend, I really like this bag, da 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 da. You talk about this bag all the time, and maybe you got the bag, right? Cool, you got the bag, you've been carrying the bag, some time goes by, then your friend gets the bag. And then your friend goes and says, oh, well, I got this bag because such and such got this bag. That is weird to me. That to me is very weird, because it's like, you're trying to refrain from giving me that credit. Like, you're trying to make it seem like you're just completely disregarding the fact that I've been talking about this bag for months, that I've had this bag for months, and that you just picked up this bag because Jada Wada had the bag. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like you would rather give the credit to an influencer than give the credit to your friend. Jesus Christ, this keeps popping out. But that to me is weird, and it kind of goes back, that same like trait to me goes back to like support. Like, your friend will be, let's say you're a YouTuber, I'm a YouTuber, right? And then my friend is always talking about, the friend that never supports you, never compliments your channel, never tells you like, I'm proud of you, I like that you did this in this video, da 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 da. But the minute some YouTube girl, the minute Jackie Aina gets on YouTube, she's talking about how much she loved the video, how much she loves what Jackie Aina is doing, but when you post a video, it's crickets. That to me is weird. Very, 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 very weird. So in that aspect, I do understand credit. It's giving weird. Someone said some things are unique and specific to your taste. Why now do you have my taste? I also agree with that. Something is very specific to taste. And taste to me is something that can't be mimicked. Like taste, aesthetic, those things are very difficult to mimic. It naturally happens, but when it's really intentional, it's bothersome. I agree. If you're continuously going out of your way to pick up the same clothes as me, the same shoes as me, it's weird. It's annoying and so unoriginal. Be yourself, but sometimes I look at it like someone's looking up to me. Someone says, I don't get offended, but at least find your own style and what suits you. Agreed. I agree with that. Someone said, LOL, I'm a mini influencer then. Period. Overall, some of y'all are just saying it's weird. And some of y'all are saying it's like inspirational. I get mixed vibes from it. And then the last one that we have is there such thing as your standards being too high? Now, I love this question. I love answering this question. I love this topic of conversation because men, especially my guy friends, as y'all can see in the videos that I posted previously, they love saying women's standards are too high, and I freaking hate it. So when I first asked this question, I didn't put like a box for you guys to like respond to anything. Like I didn't ask for any feedback. I just left it with like the percentages. So 33% of you guys said yeah, and then 67% of you guys said no way, which is not surprising. But the people who said yeah, I really wanted to know what the hell you meant by yeah. Like, no offense, like I just wanted to know, like I was just curious. So a little bit later, I went back and I asked you guys like for your feedback. Some of you guys said expecting people not to have bad days. I do think that really to me isn't really a standard. That's more like of a expectation. Expecting people not to have bad days. I think that when you're in a relationship, someone could have a bad year, someone could have a bad week, somebody could have a bad month. Like in a relationship, shit can get tough, you know what I mean? So I think it's kind of selfish to be like, no, the minute that you ain't got no money, the minute you ain't got no shit, I'm running away. Like that's to me is pushing it, especially when you're young. Like that is a push. So I could see what you mean by that, but even then, I don't know. Someone said things like they have to be famous or have to be in the NBA. Now you see what I mean? I don't think that's a problem. If I get up tomorrow, say I want to date an NBA player, so what? Like, so what? That's what I want. And if I'm that pressed about wanting that, trust me, I will go find one. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's just an example. I don't have that preference. But if I did, who gives a damn? If I say I want to go date somebody in the NBA, who's going to stop me? If you don't want that, don't date me. Like if that's the problem with you, I'm clearly not the girl for you. But if I want my man to be a rapper, NBA player, or a surgeon, that's my preference. That's what I want. Someone said, to be honest, your standards are only too high if you can't reciprocate what you're asking for. I agree with that, but also to a certain extent. Because especially as a woman, even as a man, if I want to be taken care of in this life, there's a man out there who's going to be willing to take care of me, who's going to tell me I can sit on my ass all day, every day, and do absolutely nothing. Now, what it takes for me to get that, that's for another conversation. I probably cannot just walk into my local bar and find a man who's willing to just shack me up in a house and let me be a housewife and not do nothing for the rest of my life. I'm not saying that that's going to be something easy to find, but if you want it, you can have it. Someone said you have to have $1 million, 6'5" with 2 cars. So a lot of people are saying these, like wanting qualities that are too specific. Someone said there's no example as long as you meet your own standards, and I agree. So, but even then, I personally don't think, especially as a woman, even woman or man, I am big on you can have whatever you want in this life. Like, if you want a man, like I just said, if you want a man who is gonna house you, feed you, tell you you don't have to do shit, and buy you nice things all day, and put you in a nice car, take you on lavish vacations, you can find that man. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that finding that man is easy. Like I just said, I don't think that you can go to your local bar and find that man. I don't even think you can go to your local club and find that man. I don't even think you can go online and find that man. I think it will take a lot to find that perfect, like a person like that. And I think that probably the things that come with that type of relationship, you might be able to sit in the house all day, but now you have to ask him, babe, can I spend $1,000 on these shoes? And if he wants to tell you no, he can tell you no because he pays bills. You know what I mean? But I feel like a woman or a man, because I hate that men think that they can't. My friends were saying the other day that a woman will date a broke man. A woman won't date a man who has no money, but a man will date a woman with no money. And I said, to me, that's on you. whatever you tolerate and wherever you, just because you as a man, your standards are low, it doesn't have shit to do with me. My standards ain't low. Because like I told all my friends, I would never tell you guys to date a woman who doesn't have shit. Like, I would never tell you guys to date a woman with like no goals and ambition, knowing the type of men that you are, right? So I don't think that because men have a checklist of 5, that a woman having a checklist of 10 is a problem. Someone said expecting someone to have no flaws. That's fair. That's an unrealistic standard. Let's be honest here. Expecting someone to have no flaws. Everybody has flaws. Unrealistic expectations. No real example. Unless you can provide what you seek, everything should be good. That's my biggest thing always. If I don't need a problem with if I live in my own apartment, I drive my own car, I buy myself nice things, I take myself out to fine dining, I take myself on vacation. In that case, I don't think there's anything wrong with being with a person who can reciprocate that energy. Someone said, if you bring nothing to the table but you expect your significant other to bring everything. Like I said, is that really a standard? Like, baby, there's a lot of men who will date a woman who doesn't bring nothing to the table. There's a lot of men who will do that. Like I said, I don't know the guidelines behind that, but they're there. Like, they're there. You can find it. If the person doesn't meet everything they're looking for, they leave. I don't think that's a problem. Like, wanting something from someone that you can't yourself achieve. Agreed. A lot of y'all are saying that, and I totally agree with that. Anything that you don't have is too high. If you want someone who has a car, you need to have a car too. How you meet a man at the bus stop telling him you must have a car? You got some nerve. There aren't many because there's no such thing. Period. Someone said people who say that standards are too high, they don't have any standards at all. I agree. I agree. I don't think any standard is too high personally. I think it's a little bit inconsiderate if you're a person who's expecting stuff from your significant other that you can't provide for yourself. I think it's just like inconsiderate more than anything, and it's kind of selfish. I think that's what it is. But too high of a standard, I genuinely don't think it exists. Now, if you have a checklist of 100 things in a man, it might be difficult for you to find that man. Don't get me wrong. I always say a person with 2 things on their checklist versus a person with 10 things on their checklist. Obviously, the person with 2 is gonna find a man easier. It's gonna be easy to find a man who is tall and dark, if those are your only 2 standards, right? We find tall, dark men all day, all night. But if you're looking for a man who's tall, dark, handsome, ambitious, goal-oriented, a family man, funny, attractive, white teeth, dresses nice, obviously that man is not going to be the man that you casually just walk outside and find tomorrow, unless you're just that lucky. But yeah, I personally think there's like your standards I just feel like they can't be too high. If you think my standards are too high, you just simply aren't the person for me. Like, sorry. To me, it's just that simple. But yeah, guys, that was the final question for today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed. I'm probably gonna make this like a series so that we can do it more often. I really like talking to you guys. I really like reading y'all's feedback because it is truly interesting to see the way other people like view things and think of things. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed today's video, don't forget to leave me a big thumbs up and a sweet comment down below, and we'll be back with more videos, guys.